Hi, this is Bill Henshaw here, your walking constitutional scholar, and I've got some current events that you'll be interested to hear that, not surprisingly, involve the office of the White House, currently vacant, as you also know. That's the position I take. But recently, I've been reading online where Trump's attorneys, and I don't think it's Giuliani here, but have been claiming that he would not be subject to any subpoenas that might be issued by Congress or anyone else, pursuant to the activities that are being investigated. So we'll see how that turns out. But for people of my age group, and I'm a baby boomer, this immediately brings back the events, that were current during the Watergate scandal with Nixon all those years ago. And at that time, by the way, I got to tell you, I was nothing more than your average Joe six-pack myself. I didn't have a clue what the hell was going on, despite the fact I lived and was raised and educated in Washington, D.C., or just outside of there. Didn't have a clue. Not like what the situation is today. But the situations are similar here because Nixon, as many of you will remember, refused to turn over some of the Watergate tapes that were found out when his aide Alexander Butterfield betrayed him and made people aware that he made tapes in the White House of all these conversations about the break-ins and this, that, and the other. And Nixon too claimed that he was not, subject to any subpoena in this case, Congress, the criminal investigation, or whatever, because of executive privilege. A very, very vague term as to what that means and where it comes from in the Constitution. I haven't found any provision in there yet that says a word about that. We could be going through Watergate Part 2 here, the way things are shaping up, because that's just the kind of claim made by Trump. And even worse, his recent hiring of Rudy Giuliani as counsel here appears to have backfired, and I expect this bastard to get the axe at the first moment. I don't know what's going on there. But he and Trump are clearly not on the same page, and that's not a situation you want to be in when you're the employee and your boss is not happy with you. By the way, I should note with Giuliani, and of course I didn't have him personally involved in my case, but that's one of the law firms I beat in a labor arbitration with my sweetie when we beat both her airport employer and her union, who sided with the employer against her claims as a worker. Not as shocking as you would expect, given how unions are created and to whom they owe their allegiance. But that law firm was in on the mix, and I beat them in a labor arbitration. I've had 2 wins like that. The second one was against Stanford University at Stanford, a lot like Stanford's football team going the year before and beating USC on the road as a 42-point dog. And I should have had every dime I had on that game. Not that I was expecting Stanford to outright win. But for reasons that handicappers are going to know, with a conference game like that, that's impossible. Anyway, I want to backtrack and get back to what we're talking about here. And that is, this whole situation is poised to blow up at any moment. And who knows what's going to come out of here, especially, payoffs to these bimbos he's been screwing around with. And you've seen of late about how much affection he and Melania show. It's just like they were 2 strangers here. And probably the only reason keeping her from divorcing him makes you getting a good chunk of change to hold off until he's out of office. That's certainly the way it looks to me. But in any event, we'll see what develops there. Whether there's a serious impeachment movement against Trump, who knows? And whether Pence becomes president, and I personally think and have said that Pence is the power behind the throne in any event. So the change would not be an abrupt one, as far as I'm concerned, because Pence is calling the shots anyway. And Lord knows that's happened a lot in United States history, subject for a different video. So we'll get back to you more about that one, perhaps on my next talk show appearance on May the 24th. And just a reminder here that if you want to learn more about these issues and what they mean and how you can deal with them, please feel free to send information to me at ccaspari@live.com on availability of my modestly priced document packets that now come with a triple your money refund if you can prove me wrong on any of my 4 main unopposed issues. So check that out. You're going to love it, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.